Happy morning to all. We welcome you all for this one-day national webinar on consumer rights and education. We will start the program as per schedule at 11 a.m. Happy morning to all. We the KMG College of Arts and Science heartily welcome you all for this one-day national webinar on consumer rights and education organized by PG and Research Department of Commerce, PG Department of Commerce, CA, Citizen Consumer Club, along in collaboration with the Consumer Advocacy Group. We will start the program at sharply 11 a.m. Happy morning to all. We, KMG College of Arts and Science, Kudiyatham, and PG and Research Department of Commerce, Commerce CA, and Citizen Consumer Club, in association with the Citizen Advocacy, Consumer Advocacy Group, we welcome you all for this one-day national seminar. Citizen Consumer Club, in association with the Citizen Advocacy Group. Hello, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Hello, sir. Good morning, sir. Krishna Mohan, sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hearty welcome.
Thank you. Morning, Murthy garu.
Good morning.
PVS Murthy, sir. Hearty welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Listen.
Dr. Jaspreet Kaur Manjitia.
Good morning, sir. Am
Good
I
morning.
audible?
Welcome to webinar.
Thank you so much, sir.
Dr. Bhagavan,
Good morning, sir. I'm here.
good morning. Our Rajendra Prasad would be joining us in a few minutes. I sent him the link through his mail now.
Okay, sir. Fine.
We can
Fine,
start
sir.
it as soon as he joins. Thank you. Good morning, Dr. Senthil Raj.
Good morning, sir.
I am PVVS Murthy.
Yes, sir.
We are waiting for Professor Rajendra Prasad to join us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No problem, sir.
Just now he asked me for the link again. Probably he must be having some technical problem there.
Okay.
I sent the link through his email.
Okay, that is better, sir.
Yes.
Dr. Senthil Raj, good morning.
Very good morning, sir.
Krishna Mohan here.
Yeah.
I'm one of the admins of Consumer Advocacy Group.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, Dr. Bhagwan. Dr. Jaspreet, good morning.
Good morning,
Good
sir.
morning, sir. Good morning.
Very good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, sir. Morning.
We are meeting on Zoom platform now. And the participants are on YouTube platform. So you may not be seeing them directly on this screen. But we have large number of registrations. And those are on YouTube. Is there any possibility for us to show them on the screen, Mr. Senthil Raj?
Yes, sir. We can do it, sir.
Because the speakers would get inspired only when they look at the audience.
Okay.
They are not seen now on the screen.
1 minute, sir.
Yes, please.
I see more than around 75 plus on that YouTube channel.
Is there any possibility for us to show them on the screen? Is there any possibility?
Sir. Dr. Murthy, sir,
Yes, please.
shall we start the program, sir?
It is up to you.
Yeah,
Dr. Rajendra Prasad will be joining us anytime.
yes, sir.
Meanwhile, we
Professor
can
has
continue our formalities.
warm welcome to you all. Happy morning to all the ladies and gentlemen. We are honored to have you with us today for this insightful and informative webinar on the topic Consumer Rights and Education. My name is M. Astalakshmi, Head and Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce CA, K.M.G College of Arts and Science. I am here for serving as your Master of Ceremony for this event. We will begin our program with an invocation. Please join with us and we will invoke the program. Invocation, welcome address will be given by Professor M. Astalakshmi, that's me. In the presence of our esteemed dignitaries, I would like to acknowledge their presence and coming to the cause of consumer rights and education. This is none other than our college management trustee, Thiru K.M.G. Balasubramaniam sir, Chairman Thiru K.M.G. Sundaravadanam sir, BA BGL, Secretary Thiru K.M.G. Rajendran sir, BSc BL, and Treasurer Thiru K.M.G. Muthukumar sir, BCom. So we welcome you
Mohan.
all in this one-day national webinar. I thank our management for permitting us to conduct this one-day national webinar on the topic Consumer Rights and Education. We are heartily
there is a-
fortunate to have our beloved principal, Dr. M. Senthilraj sir, who is always supporting us in all the activities. Sir is actually having more interest in conducting the more program for the welfare of the students. Our hearty welcome to you, sir. I welcome Dr. PVBS Murthy, sir, who always encourages me to conduct the programs. And sir is the backbone. Sir helped us in all the way to conduct the program to the rural students. This is our location is in the rural place. Sir encouraged us and given us the opportunity through consumer advocacy group. Our hearty welcome to you, sir. My hearty welcome to Krishna Mohan sir, President, Admin and Advocated Newsletter Group, Consumer Advocacy Group. Welcome, sir. I welcome former Vice Chancellor, Professor A. Rajendra Prasad, sir, Nagarjuna University, Andhra Pradesh. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation, and you are going to deliver a speech on the topic consumer rights and education amidst your busy schedule, sir. Hearty welcome you, sir. Our heartful welcome to Dr. Jasprit Kaur Majita Madam, Associate Professor and Dean, Amita Law School, Punjab. Welcome, ma'am. Next, I welcome our guest of honor, Dr. Bhagwan R. Gavali, Assistant Professor, M. Shakaryo Chawla Law College, Pune. Hearty welcome to you, sir. Next, I welcome all the faculties, professors of various colleges and our college professors, heads of department, the students from various colleges and from our college also. Thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity. Once again, I welcome all the people who gathered to know something and to deliver speech on consumer rights and education. Hearty welcome to you all. Now,
Is my
I
voice
invite
audible?
Dr. VVS Murthy, sir,
Dr.
Secretary
Ashwakshmi.
General, Consumer Advocacy Group, to introduce about the webinar to the gathering. Please, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Is my voice audible?
Dr. VVS Murthy, sir. Please
Hello.
say about
Hello.
consumer rights and education.
Hello. Hello. Murthy garu.
Rajendra Prasad garu, welcome, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Krishna
So
Mohan.
I'm audible. Okay. Fine.
Yes, sir. You are audible.
Fine.
I welcome Dr. Murthy, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Madam, you please continue. Madam, please continue the meeting.
Hello. Good morning, participants. I am sorry, because of some technical glitch, I am not able to reach you so far. As the moderator now informed me that my voice is audible, I am venturing to talk to you now. At the outset, let me thank the management of KMG College for hosting this particular webinar jointly with the Consumer Advocacy Group. And Professor Astalakshmi has worked along with us to make this webinar a reality. Actually, we have been waiting for an opportunity to conduct a consumer education seminar in rural areas. But today, because of the management of KMG College and Professor Astalakshmi, we are jointly organizing this webinar in Gudiyatham in Tamil Nadu. Once again, I thank the organizers. I am here not to deliver any speech on this, but to tell you a few things about the Consumer Advocacy Group. Consumer Advocacy Group was started 6 years ago with many people from all walks of life, advocates, doctors, retired IAS officers, retired judges, retired vice chancellors, so on and so forth. We have all categories of people taken as members into this group. And we have rich resource persons in this group. And every month we are organizing one webinar in some educational institution across India. So now with this, the two with the rural base, we are expecting at least 100 new members from these areas to join our group. Our group consists of mainly women and youth. That is the power of this particular group. At present, we have 1,200 members. With this brief introduction of Consumer Advocacy Group, I take leave from the organizers over to the moderator. Thank you very much. Dr. Astalakshmi, over to you. Yes.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much, sir, for saying about Consumer Advocacy Group and the purpose of organizing this webinar. Next, felicitation by our beloved principal, Dr. M. Sendilraj, sir. We also have the privilege of being graced by Dr. M. Sendilraj, sir, principal of K.M.G College of Arts and Science, Gudiyatham, who will deliver the felicitation address. This remarkable credential and extensive knowledge in various fields are a testament to his dedication to the education and consumer welfare. My heartfelt welcome to Dr. M. Sendilraj, sir, for the felicitation address. Please, sir.
The most respected guest for this program, Professor A. Rajendra Prasad, former Vice Chancellor, Nagarjuna University, Andhra Pradesh. Dr. Jasprit Kaur Manchitra, Associate Professor and Dean, Amity Law School, Punjab. Dr. Bhagavan Mar Gaveli, Hyson Professor, MMS Sangar Rao Chavan, Law College, Pune. Dr. PVVS Murthy, Secretary, General Consumer Advocacy Group. And then Commerce with the Computer Application HOD, Asalaji Ma'am, Commerce Department HOD, Gomati, Consumer Citizen Club Coordinator, Vanita, and all other participants from various colleges from our college. Good morning to all. Our customs in our college, our customs to organize the various programs like a seminar, webinar, symposium in every semester. This is the time of commerce and commerce CA. Both the departments are very vibrant in our college. They organized so many programs through offline beginning of this year. This is the first time they entered the webinar. They organized the webinar. Actually, the topic is a very novel one, that is consumer rights and education. So this is a very good opportunity to all the participants to know who is consumer, what are the rights they are having, then how to educate the consumer. So these are some important aspects, core aspects everyone should know. We know that consumer who actually getting the goods for the purpose of so that person is or before purchasing goods or after purchasing the goods. So consumer has a lot of rights and privileges. It may be related to the goods, or it may be related to the price, or it may be related to the package of the goods. So whatever it may be, all the things should know by the each and every student. So once again, I warm welcome all the dignitaries, guests. Thank you very much for this opportunity given to me. Thank you. All the very best to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your felicitation. Now I invite Dr. K. Gomati, Madam, as Head and Assistant Professor, PG and Research Department of Commerce, KMG College of Arts and Science, to introduce our former Vice Chancellor, Professor A. Rajendra Prasad, sir, Nagarjuna University, Andhra Pradesh. Please, ma'am.
Good morning to everybody. Professor A. Rajendra Prasad, Professor of Law, Damodaran Sanjay Vaya, National Law University, Visakhapatnam, Andhra Pradesh, and former Vice Chancellor, Acharya Nagarjuna University, Andhra Pradesh, served as Professor of Law, Andhra University for 3 decades. He was the Chairman, Faculty of Law, former Principal, College of Law, Head and Chairman, Board of Studies in Law, Andhra University. He also served in Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, Government of India, New Delhi, as Professor and Head, School of Corporate Law. He obtained PhD in Consumer Law from Andhra University and received Best Thesis Award. He is also the recipient of Best Researcher and Best Academician Award from Andhra University. He is the awardee of prestigious Commonwealth Fellowship and visited Faculty of Law, University of Sheffield, UK. He is the member of the research group headed by Professor Paulo Farah, West Virginia University, USA. He published many articles in reputed national and international journals. and attended many conferences, including international conferences held in Malaysia, Canada, New Zealand, UK, USA, South Africa, Netherlands, China, and South Korea, and also organized national seminars under UGC funded SAP program. He served as a member, Academic Council, Chanakya National University, Patna, and member, Executive Council, AP, University of Law, Visakhapatnam. Has been actively participating in the program on consumer protection organized by local consumer association. He also served as secretary in Association of British Scholars Visakhapatnam chapter under the aegis of British Council Chennai and organized many seminars on climate change and community service programs. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
I invite Professor Dr. A. Rajendra Prasad, sir, former Vice Chancellor, Nagarjuna University, to address the gathering. Please, sir.
Good morning to everyone.
Over
Am I
to
audible,
you, sir.
please? Am I audible, please? Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes, sir, you are.
Okay, good morning to everyone. Dr. Murthy, Mr. Krishna Mohan, President and Secretary of the Consumer Groups, and the Principal of KMG College, Dr. Sitil Raj, faculty, and the participants. It is a pleasure to be here to address on these consumer issues and the consumer rights. And rightly pointed by Mr. Murthy in the introductory part, what I said, much focus must be made on the rural consumers and also on the education of consumer protection with reference to the rural base. You must be knowing that there is some sort of a dividing line between the rural consumers and these urban consumers. But even at international level, what has been advised, including the Consumer International, the international body to protect the rights of the consumers, saying that special focus must be made on the rural consumers as well as the consumer rights are concerned. Because their method of purchase and the approaches and the place of sale, all the things are, just nothing but exploiting the rural consumers. But anyhow, here, the initiative that has been taken by the consumer groups to advocate, to enlighten or to educate on, the young consumers in particular, and the consumers in general on many issues of consumers. You must be knowing that, what is the need for us to know the consumer rights? There's a basic thing. As a citizens, we are aware of many rights. And we often, cite the constitutional right to protect, ourselves. But the issue is about there is a separate segment known as consumer rights. Just meant for protecting the rights of these buyers and consumers. So, of course, these consumer rights is, strength, the legal strength from the constitutional norms and obligations or the principles. But the issue is about there is some sort of an exclusive legislation. Before going to, just know about the legal framework of the consumers, better when you address the consumers, there must be, a clear understanding about what is meant by consumers and buyers. Often I cite, the necessity of knowing the distinction between the consumers and buyers. I make a statement saying that how to differentiate between these two segments. I can say like that all the buyers need not be the consumers, and vice versa, all the buyers need not be the consumers. It means all the consumers need not be the buyers, and all the buyers need not be the consumers. Is not a confusing statement, but of course, it's nothing but some sort of a confusing statement. But there is some sort of a underlying legal distinction between these two. Buyer need not be a consumer, simply talking about, and consumer need not be buyer. Buyer need not be a consumer. In the same way, consumer need not. So, for example, you purchase a chocolate for your child, for your brother, a sister, or when you purchase some sort of a milk bag from a shop. Now the issue is, I mean, when you purchase for a family, all the goods which are needed, then you may not be the consumer, but the whole family, you are the buyer, the whole family members are the consumers. Likewise, when you purchase chocolate for your brother or sister, then you may be a consumer or you may be buyer. Sorry, you are the buyer, but maybe the consumer may not be the consumer. When you purchase chocolate for your brother, the issue is about, you may ask me, what is the need to know that some sort of a clear distinction between these two? Who has the right? Suppose, for example, the products you purchase or the chocolate in this case you purchase, I mean, had some sort of a defect in that. That caused some sort of a fever, health hazard, the issue to you or your family members. Who has the right to proceed against the trader, the shopkeeper? Who has the buyer has the right? That means here I'm specifically talking about you have purchased a chocolate for your children or for your brother, and you might have not consumed that, and your children or the brother, the sister, they might have consumed it and got some sort of a health issue. Now the issues whether you have the right to lodge a complaint, or your brother, the sister, or anyone else in your family have the right to lodge a complaint. This is a legal issue. So that's why, what has been said that, of course, there are very established legal principles. They are very, in a way, there is some sort of the technical meanings that have been attached to that. Here, I don't want to go that much legal intricacies that are not between these two. But know the difference between the buyer and consumers. So, why about the differences between these two? Earlier, the rights are available only to these, the buyers and not the consumers. Because you may not be knowing there is some sort of a legal implication when you purchase a chocolate from a shop. So when you paid the amount and also purchase the chocolate, undoubtedly it is some sort of a contract between you and the trader. Or it may be a contract between you and the manufacturer of that particular chocolate. So you see, there is some sort of a legal relation that implies from your act of purchase. So that's a being a consumer, you must know it, whether I have the right to file a case or not, what the rights we have. So that's why you must understand the distinction between these the consumer and buyer. Now you see what are the rights the consumer has or the buyer has. So I'm basically, because as far as this study is concerned, talk is concerned, I'm not drawing that so much legal differentiation between these two terms, the buyer and consumer. So I wanted to use it interchangeably, these two terms. But basically, you see, one is are a consumer or buyer. The next one is what are the rights of the consumers or buyers. So it has been universally acknowledged, internationally acknowledged. There are some of the Bill of Rights of the consumers, the fundamental rights of the consumers. They were advocated long back in 1960 by John F. Kennedy in the US. What has been said, there are some of the rights, the exclusive rights that are recognized by John F. Kennedy in the US. So the rights of the consumer. So when you purchase the product, you may not be knowing that have certain rights. So you purchase a chocolate. What we generally see that what is the manufacturing date, and also you see what is the expiry date, and we also see just the price of it, and also the content in that particular product. So what is the need for that? That is nothing but the right of us, the right of the consumer. Just want to know that it is not simple obligation on the part of the manufacturer to print it or to supply this information. It is the legal obligation of the seller, the trader, the manufacturer, or supplier of the product to, give this information to the. But so that's why, first of all, just only try to notice it. whenever you purchase the product, what is the manufacturing date, what is the expiry date, what about the price of it? That means it must be consumable. That is number one. Number two, I mean, just the price which you are paying for that. Suppose is 10 rupees. If this particular, I mean, this seller charges 11 rupees, is it not some sort of exploitation? You may not bother about the, I mean, 1 rupee or 2 rupees, while purchasing. But the issue is that undoubtedly there is some sort of a exploitation by these people. At one time, it was, I am also, I mean, agitated. I mean, these vendors have been charging more prices for the water bottle, especially in some railway stations. This also brought to the notice of these consumer associations, and also I represent the matter to the concerned agencies. So you see, I mean, what I'm trying to say, you have many rights. So, I mean, first of all, I will try to list out some of the rights of the consumers. First of all, it has been said, you have the right to be informed. When I'm talking about that, when you purchase the product, you must know all the details of it. So that is known as the right to be informed. You have the right to be informed by the manufacturer or the supplier of the services. The second very, very important, I mean, right of the consumer, right to safety. So whatever the product that is purchased by you, have some sort of the safety norms that should not cause any health or it must be fit for the purpose for which you have purchased. Of course, this is totally a legal term given the Sale of Goods Act. That is, it must be fit for the purpose for which you have purchased. This is the doctrine that has been just developed by the, I mean, of course, these terms are derived from the English enactment, but we can say, simply talking about it must be fit for the purpose for which you purchase. Suppose when you purchase a chocolate, what is the purpose which you are expected? It must be consumable and it should not cause any health hazard. So health problem or the health issue. Likewise, when you purchase a mobile, automatically it must be useful for the purpose which you have purchased. So anyhow, this is some sort of a right to safety that has been recognized by these these policy makers. And another one is you have the right to choice. So that's why every consumer has a right to make a choice of his own out of the substitutes or the varieties available in the market. So it has been said, consumer is some sort of a scapegoat in the marketplace at every time. And it has been said once, being a manufacturer, seller of the products have the right to exploit. I do his will. This is some sort of extraordinary statement, made by some of the sellers at one time in the US. I have the right to exploit. Can you say that the seller has the right to exploit? But the seller will try to, exploit, saying that. So, there are some of the legal terms, the legal shifts that are, just developed by the so-called sellers just only to protect their, defects. For example, it has been in England, K.M.G. Many people must be knowing that you should also know what is meant by this. Is a Latin word. It has been K.M.G. Let the buyer beware. So you are purchasing, just you take care of it. So that's why especially as far as the rural consumer talking about, there's so much exploited at the weekly markets. They do not have a right to choice. What this seller will try to say, this is the product available. You just only purchase or leave it. So that's why they said, you take care of it. You are a buyer, you are a seller, you take care of it. Don't ask me if you experience any problems later, if you get any problems later. So that is the norm that has been developed at one time, saying that let the buyer beware. But of course, in course of time, this has been reversed, and it has been said that because of these, the consumer movements are taking into consideration of these consumer rights. Again, it was said that caveat vendita. Now the slogan is, the principle is caveat vendita. That is nothing but you, the seller, beware. So that's why there is some sort of a conflict as far as the protection that has been extended. But simply we can say that the consumer, in the modern, or you can say at this in this globalized age or the digital age at crossroads. So that's why the right to choice that has also been universally internationally recognized as one of the important rights. Another very important right is nothing but right to redress. Whenever a problem, when you notice any problem, experience any problem, where you have to go, you should know that. So that's why you have every right, the problem must be addressed. You have every right to insist for your problem must be redressed. It must be addressed at the same time, it should be redressed. Suppose if he does not, pay attention for the problem which you have highlighted before his elder, then you have the right to go and just only tell your problems before some authority. So, here in the modern times, it has been said there is some sort of a dispute settlement mechanism, or otherwise known as a resolution dispute settlement mechanism, that is made available to the consumers for this one some sort of a redress. So that's why these are considered some sort of basic rights to the consumer. What I said, that the right to be informed, right to safety, right to choice, and also about the next one is about the right to redress. These are considered by some sort of these writers as the Bill of Rights to the consumers, like our fundamentals and Indian Constitution. So I talked about the rights, well and good. The next one is, in the later part, talk about the duties of the consumers. So, you say that do you think only the consumer have rights and without any duties? Consumers do have some sort of the obligations and also these duties. So not only because you said rights and these duties are, are inseparable. So you can't divide it and saying that I have only the rights and we have no duties. Even you will see your constitution, we can just accept for fundamental rights. At the same time, the fundamental duties are also, given in our constitution. So that's why consumers not only they have the rights, but also the obligations and duties. I will talk about later. But now you see how to protect your rights. Suppose a problem that has been caused, especially I'm talking to the last important part of this particular consumer rights, that is a right to redress. Where you have to go? Who will hear us? In the modern age, can you spare any moment for this? We're very busy in our day-to-day life and day-to-day administration, engagements. So we can't address. We cannot. The days are like this. Even we ourselves will not pay attention for our own grievances to the problems. So generally we say, just you come for anything else. You say, I'm very busy. I do not have that time. So in the modern age, we are very busy and mechanical, unable to spare even a single for ourselves. Can you spare the time for others? So that's why whether some sort of a we can say regulations, or we can say some sort of a self-help, we can say, helping ourselves. And the second one is relying on the help of somebody else. So what I'm trying to say that, to bring your attention, whenever notice any problem for the goods that have been supplied or the services which are raised from others, the second one is, then necessarily you must take action on your own. If not possible, then just you can also approach someone else. You're talking this, meeting has been arranged by the consumer group. Is nothing that some sort of helping us to aware of the rights, and also helping us to just only to take to bring the notice of the concerned agencies to redress the problems which you are facing or faced. So that's why take your own, initiate the legal action, initiate any action, what you feel necessary and reasonable. The second one is just only to protect, safeguard your rights. The second one is approach somebody else, especially somebody in the sense, some sort of, the consumer groups or association, group of these consumers, just only to work for on your behalf. So then this is, that means this is just only how to redress our problems. Next, on another very important thing will be on what you can approve the courts or the redressal mechanism, or just only any legal framework, just want to get. When you get some sort of dissatisfaction from the products which you purchase, that's why it has been said the principle or the governing principle for any seller manufacturer is nothing but giving some sort of a satisfaction to them. Consumer satisfaction is the utmost guiding and the governing principle for any seller or the manufacturer. Consumer satisfaction. So how to satisfy them? So supply the quality products and just want to see that they are very safe, and also give some sort of choice for them, option for them to select, and also have some sort of a settlement mechanism just only for the redress of the grievances. So that is the obligation of the seller or the policy maker or the government agencies. But the issue is about it, how to do it, on what. For example, you see, just you purchase some sort of products, you have experienced some sort of defects. What have to do? So next one is generally we can go some sort of these doctors or the lawyer, the service providers. Suppose you can approach some sort of a mobile, servicing center, and give, because nowadays the citing of the examples are also need to be changed. So I'm citing the mobiles because we are all addicted to the mobile, use. So that's why we have some sort of phobia to use these mobile. That's why I'm citing this. Suppose I'm citing this particular instance. Suppose your mobile got to be repaired and you went to some sort of a shop or the repair to be done. So that's why when you charge more, that shopkeeper has charged, the service provider, the repairer, and has charged more and not attended the repair which you wanted, then what to do? So that's why when you purchase some water bottle and also found something inside, then we have the right to go to the court of law. So you also insist for your rights. So the defect products which you have witnessed that can give you some sort of a cause of action are the right to question the manufacturer. Because I am saying the presence of the defects in the in these products, presence of the defects, something in some case in the water bottle itself. So all the things I'm just only give some sort of a right. I'm simply citing this example just only to make you know a very good judgment given by not now in 1959 by Lad Atkin in England. What he has said, what he has he talked about the manufacturer's responsibility for the defects present in the bottle itself. In that case, a bottle, a wine that has been purchased by a girl, just in one restaurant in England, and she found there are some sort, she consumed it, and also found some, because of the consumption of this particular, the ginger wine. So that's why she got some sort of health issues. And here in this case, she consumed, not paid that, but the bill for that is, her friend paid that amount. The issue is whether the girl, being the consumer, has any right to sue the manufacturer for any compensation of the damages. So it has been said that this manufacturer asked, I do not owe any duty to you because you have not purchased it. The boy who paid this bill for that and just experienced any issue, then we have the right responsibility. Who are you? You are put in as outsider stranger. Of course, this particular case has some sort of the legal interest, legal issues. But what we are concerned here is when whenever the products that are being supplied by this, produced by the manufacturer had some sort of defects in the product, defects in them, then the user or the buyer of the products have the right to sue them. So that's why what I'm trying to say, the first one is whenever you purchase the product and this product has some sort of the defects and if it is defective, then we have the right to sue them. The next one is, and sometimes we purchase the goods, sometimes we also receive the services from others. For example, you went to the bank and also expect some sort of services from, you're a customer to the bank, and you are also expecting some sort of services from the banker. If he does not fulfill his obligation, not provide the proper service to you, then we have the right to sue the banker. The next one is in the same way, we will also go to the doctor So that's why doctor has not properly diagnosed. Then this, do you have the right to sue the doctor for any issues of negligence? Likewise, you approach a lawyer. Lawyer has not properly rendered the legal advice. Can you make the liable for the wrong legal advice that has that has been given by this lawyer? So that's why, see, there are many service providers. So in our societies, we are totally, we can't be independent. Necessarily must depend on the service of others. Can you live alone? We can't live. We are not living in the deserts. We are living in the societies. It has been said, when you are living in the society, necessarily must depend on the service of someone else. For everything, you have to depend on someone else. So that's why for electricity, for the gas, for the fuel. So whatever it may be, we need the service of many. Likewise, we use many products in our day-to-day life. So in all the cases, when you notice some sort of the defects in the products, and also when you notice some of the deficiencies in the services, then it gives some sort of a right to question that particular manufacturer or the service provider. So that's why I'm talking about what the rights to being the consumer. The second one is, just you have to do when you have noticed some sort of, deficiency in service or defects in the product. And third one is, on what grounds we can approach, dispute settlement mechanisms to person this particular supplier or this manufacturer of these goods and services for the things they have done in them. So that's why here, can I say all the things without some sort of, official authenticity? Sir, I have the rights. So I have some sort of the right to be redressed. And I also notice some of the defects on the part of the seller. And I also equally notice some of the deficiency on the part of these provider of the services. Then how to enforce it? So in all the societies, in the systems, what is necessarily needed is but some sort of a legal backing, legal authenticity. So for the lawyers, just every right we are talking about must have some sort of legal backing. You have the right to speak. I'm speaking. I have fundamental right to speak. I am moving from one place to another. I have the fundamental right to move. And I have just opted some sort of a job. Just of the job which I like more. So here I have a fundamental right. Likewise, I have the right to live. Nobody can just only just put some sort of the hurdles of my way of living. I have the right to decent living. So likewise, I have the right to live with human dignity. So it is a constitutional right that has been just recognized. See, you see, all the rights, when you accept it, when you claim it, there must be some sort of a legal backing, legal basis, legal foundation. So I talk many rights of the consumers. Without a legal basis, you can't enforce it. So here, thinking about it, some sort of the legal basis and legal support that has been given to the consumer, right? Consumers or his rights. So in India, when I talk about this consumers' rights protection, it was made in 1986 only. So that's why the issue that comes, what about the right that extended to the consumer before 1986? Why all of us should recognize the rights of these consumers must be protected. Or you can say, what about the fate, the destiny of the consumers? What was before 1986? All the things issues are of very interesting study. So just before 1986, of course, the consumer rights are recognized and also protected. Through different legal bases, or you can say the foundations. There were some laws. The laws, you must be knowing when you have a legal right, then also to protect the legal right is not that much easy. So that's why when you say that I have the right to live, I have the right to live, I have the right to livelihood, I have the right to freedom of speech and expression. All these people, all these rights are in the statute books. then how do you enforce it? That's why I said law, what it was said, the law in the books is different from law in action. So they are, I mean, just embodied, they are given in the statute books, then you have to avail it. What I'm trying to say, before 1996, the consumers were protected in a general way and mostly leave the destiny or the fate of the consumers. So what has been said that, and it has been said by the sellers at one time, I mean, in the Western systems, this is the Western philosophy which I'm talking about, what it was said, and the seller need only one eye and consumer needs more eyes. That means it is said that you must be careful, you must be cautious. I mean, just while purchasing the products or availing the service of others. So, I mean, this was some sort of philosophy that was developed to protect the interest of the sellers. Because at one time, when the consumers are not totally focused by the policymakers, by any legal system just to protect them, the philosophy was just only, protecting the rights in a very general way. But here in 1986, I mean, it has been said it brought some sort of a legal revolution in the Indian legal system. The reason will be, I mean, just, sir, you know, how it brought up some sort of a legal revolution. So 1986, what it talked about, it also conferred some of the rights of the consumers. So before 1986, what I was saying, they are the general laws. Suppose in the case of contamination of food, then you apply some sort of the, you can rely on this Indian Penal Code to make this wrongdoer to be punished. Likewise, there are the relevant laws that are, I mean, they were in force. So, for example, when you purchase the chocolate found defective, then there are some of the remedies, legal remedies available to them, either in the law of content or under the law of torts. Of course, these are very, very, I mean, legal issues which need not be known by you just at this level. You need some sort of special study on this to know what the rights available to you as a consumer under the law of contracts and the law of torts. So we will discuss all these things, I mean, at a later date. But the issue which I'm talking about, and the first time in India in 1980s, because I'm talking about, when you talk about the consumer rights, I'm saying, I mean, consumer rights need not be the paper tigers. So that's on paper, you granted the consumer rights. You are talking about the consumer rights. And internationally, your rights are recognized, but locally. So what has been, you must be knowing, think globally and act locally. I mean, internationally, all these rights were recognized. But locally, what we have done is in 1986, a special attention has been given to the consumers by way of making the law saying that the Consumer Protection Act, which is known as the Consumer Protection Act, 1986. Just now I talked about saying it brought out some sort of the legal relation in the legal system. The legal relation will be, it is suppose you purchase the product and notice the defect, then you have the right to go to the consumer for remedy. Likewise, you contact the service provider, and if you would not get the proper, you went to a doctor. Your disease is not properly recognized, wrongly diagnosed, and also made you to spend a lot of money. Then you have the right to say the erring doctor. So I'm not saying negligence, erring doctor just for his negligence. So that's why you say that. So what I'm trying to say is the Consumer Protection Act made us to proceed against all the people without much, expenditure. So that's why first time justice has made, less expensive. So that's why, what I'm trying to say, access to justice is very important for any democratic society. Access to justice. Justice must be cheap and it must be, accessible and it must be speedy. These are the guiding principles. Just only for any the legal system which is offering some justice to these common man here the consumer. It should be easy, it should be simple, and it should be cheap. So easy means access must be easy. If you want to lock the door of the consumer courts, you must be given some sort of access. And also it must be simple. You must be knowing when you talk about the court process and just, I mean, it takes a long, for example, you purchase jacket for 10 rupees. And also, I mean, found that is defective. And I mean, then you want to sue the manufacturer. What you have to do, you file a case. To file a case, you have to engage a lawyer. And you have to attend all the judgment. You have to show the proof of it. And you have to wait for the judgment for a number of years. Suppose if you do not get the judgment at that particular court, then you have to go to the appeal for some sort of justice. You see that you have to wait because here the amount involved is only 10 rupees. Can you venture to go to the courts? I mean, to have some sort of a justice, consumer justice for, I mean, you won't venture it. So that's why they said, whenever you talk about the, I mean, justice, it must be simple procedure, simple process that is needed. And the next one is about this, this must be speedy. So I must be, just I wanted to, because I'm referring to the example of purchasing jacket for 10 rupees and found defective, I prefer to go to a court of law. Then just, as I said, I mean, it is equally expensive. So that's why I just, I mean, Nanda is not speedy, you have to wait for a number of years. So that's why how many people, how many consumers for these simple issues, what I said, I mean, you want to get some sort of a legal redress, that must be legal redress for years. You can't threaten the manufacturer why you have supplied this for defective products. When you are in a civilized society, the only, I mean, remedy available for is nothing but the legal courts. You have to knock the doors of these courts of justice for, I mean, for this justice, nothing else. So that's why here, when the justice that will be written to the consumers, and like for the organization in the ordinary courts, is very lengthy and expensive. Our consumer, a poor consumer, won't vote. Even if you are rich, for 10 rupees, you can't wage a legal battle. Then what is to be done? The policy makes in 1986 thought about it. So, I mean, what to be done for this? There must be a simple mechanism that must be made available to these consumers. So, what I talked about is you just see that number one, about the consumer rights. The second one, the grounds on which you can sue the manufacturer or the service provider. And the third one is what the legal basis available for all of us to, I mean, get some sort of a justice. So, and just what I'm trying to talk about saying that there is a legal basis in the form of Consumer 1986. So many cases were filed because it is very less expensive, very speedy. There is a time stipulation. Within, I mean, just 90 days, you have to get justice from these consumer redressal mechanisms. So that's why what has been said that this is some sort of a very good legislation, poor man's legislation or consumer's legislation meant for this consumer justice. So that's why you have every right to proceed against, that's, I mean, the erring manufacturer service providers for some justice. So, but I mean, how it has been voted. The second one is you have the right to go to the, I mean, to get some sort of a legal redress under the consumer protection. Suppose, for example, you may be very busy, you may not have the time to proceed against the manufacturer, or if you are illiterate. So, I mean, and you are indifferent, then what have to do? It has been said. If at all you wanted to, I mean, get some sort of redressal from these manufacturers or service providers, then if you do not have the time to do it, take the help of these, the consumer associations or the consumer groups to proceed on our behalf. So that's why you see the process that has been involved. I mean, the act. So you are, I mean, just only advised to go to, go through the provisions of this Consumer 1986. Of course, it has been revealed, repeat later. But the thing will be many cases, thousands and lakhs of cases filed under the consumer protection. But they also have seen some sort of practical difficulties. Later, they also, I mean, amended in 2019 to give some sort of a full-fledged legislation on consumer matters. We have now have this, we are bound by the Consumer Protection Act 2019, where, as I mentioned earlier, the process to get the consumer justice has been made very, very, very easy. So this is the way in which it has been said that. But just I want to conclude by saying that, okay, sir, have the rights, there is some kind of legal basis, have the right to get interest. What is to be done by being a consumer? So that's why you must, I must be a negligent consumer. You should not be a negligent consumer. It must be some sort of vigilant consumer. That is very important. So if you are negligent of your rights, there is no one to help you. If you see that some sort of, vigilant consumers, naturally you'll get some sort of, a justice from these mechanisms, redressal mechanisms. So that's why the 1986 Act designated some of the, the fora as some sort of the consumer court generally we call to redress our problems. So they are the institutions which are considered some sort of the informal institutions. You can't find the routine, regular, orthodox, the traditional procedure that generally followed in the courts. When you see, they are nothing but user-friendly, consumer-friendly. So they are not subject to stringent procedures. So that's why it must be user-friendly, because what has been also advocated, especially the Western countries, when I was in England, just only I had some sort of an opportunity to work on the small claims courts. What has been said that small claims courts there also, entertain the petty issues, simple issues, and including pertaining even to the consumers. What has been said? There should not be very serious involvement in these, courts. It must be very simple, user-friendly. Just taking place, but of course, what has been said that there is some sort of very serious, regular legal, work that has been done in the courts. So you have to observe the court manners, and you have to engage a lawyer. So there is some sort of a serious involvement that generally we present in the regular traditional courts. What has been said that in the case of this informal mechanism, the consumer courts, it should not be some sort of a serious involvement, like in the regular courts. It must be user friendly. When you can feel that, there is a man to, hear you freely. So don't think the judges and the regular courts will not, hear freely. Because here is some sort of a consumer. So, and generally, here just you can follow very simple procedures. What I'm trying to hear is you must be a vigilant consumer, and also asset for the rights. And the second one is you must have retain the evidence while purchasing the products. And also, that's very important. And above all, whether a consumer, when you're a consumer, you try to see that you're not exploited. And the next one is see the instruction, follow the instructions carefully. But the reason will be the law is there just only to come to the rescue of vigilant people and not the negligent. So you see that what will generally, because
He's taking the time.
So
I alerted him, but he is not responding to my call.
Sorry. Hello. So here just I will tell you one thing and then just conclude it by saying that in one case, you see how we proceed as consumer, the patient. In one case, it is also generally we follow this. One patient went to homeopathy doctor for some sort of a medical advice. The homeopathy doctor prescribed antibiotics. And this patient used the antibiotics and got some sort of health issue. Now the issue is whether this homeopathy doctor who has prescribed antibiotics, I mean, he is negligent. The second one is whether a homeopathy doctor is competent to prescribe the Ayurvedic medicines. Likewise, when you say no, he can't, and he is negligent when you talk about it. Generally, you see that when you go to the allopathy doctor, even now they also prescribe some sort of these Ayurvedic medicine for the liver diseases when they do not find any other substitute medicine for that. What I'm trying to say here, I mean, these are the cases, I mean, just are placed before the court for judges. So that's why the professional man must be careful, and professional, I'm talking about being some sort of a litigant, must also be careful. When just homeopathy doctors do the antibiotics, it should also be, I mean, think about it, whether he is competent to prescribe or not. So these are many issues involved. So when I talk about it is a very, I mean, very bigger issue or very, I mean, legal issues that are involved. Anyhow, one thing just I conclude by saying that have some sort of awareness about your rights. The second one is what is the legal basis to protect your rights. And the third one is, I mean, get the redress accordingly as per the law. Fourth one is if you do not have the time to protect yourself, then just only approach a consumer group for protection of your rights. This is some sort of a basic issues with reference to the consumer rights. So thank you for the opportunity that has been won by Mr. Murthy and the principal of K.M.G. College. Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello, Chairman sir. I Over to Murthy, please.
Madam, you please continue. Madam, you please continue the proceeding.
Proceed, sir. Shall I proceed, sir?
Yes, please.
Okay. Thank you very much, Professor, for accepting our invitation and sharing information about consumer rights, the grounds, legal aspects with more example. Once again, we express our heartfelt thanks for being for joining with us and spending your valuable time for our students' benefit.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Professor. Next, we have the pleasure of introducing our esteemed guests of honor who have joined with us. Now I invite Dr. S. Kamaraj, Assistant Professor in Department of Commerce CA, who will introduce our guest of honor, Dr. Jaspreet Gaur Majita Madam, Associate Professor and Dean, Amity Law School, Punjab. I welcome Dr. S. Kamaraj, sir.
Good morning to one and all. Dr. Jasprit Gaur Maditya, Associate Professor and Dean, Faculty of Law, Amity University, Punjab, Mohali. Madam's teaching experience 18 years and industrial experience of 8 years. Madam research focuses on constitutional law and family law and guided more than 45 LLM dissertation students and guided PhD scholars, research scholars also, and received award of honor from Honorable Punjab and Haryana High Court Bar Council for contribution in legal education, and received award of honor from International Human Rights Council, and published research papers in national and international journals and chapters in books, presented various research papers in national and international seminars and conferences, and also organized various national and international moot court competitions and chaired sessions at national and international seminars and conferences, and also judged national moot court competitions and remained international counselor at previous workplaces, and also organized zonal level youth fest and other activities, and has a vast experience of coordinating, organizing, and conducting seminars, conferences, orientations, webinars, and faculty development programs. Now the session hand over to Madam to address the gathering. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. I would like to share a PPT.
Hello, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am. I have given
morning.
your co-host to you, ma'am. Could you please share it, or shall I?
I'll share it myself.
I have given co-host to you, ma'am.
Yeah. Is it visible?
You're visible, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am.
A very good afternoon to all the dignitaries present here. Professor A. Rajendra Prasad ji, Dr. PVS Murthy ji, Dr. Bhagwan, principal, staff, and faculty members, and very dear students of KMG College. I'm really thankful to all of you to providing this opportunity to share my views on the topic, consumer education is vital for consumer protection. As Dr. Rajendra Prasad has already, shared his views, but I'll be going to the level of the students, and through this PPT, I'll just be focusing on why consumer education is vital for consumer protection. First of all, what is the meaning of consumer? In simple language, consumer is any person who is purchasing the product from his or her own need and uses or consumes it. So all of us as consumer, we purchase a lot many things, and we purchase them for our own use or for use of someone else. So consumer is any person who is purchasing the product because it is required by that person and he has to use it and to consume it. But there are many incidents which are likely to happen. Sometimes what happens, the goods which we have purchased, they're not of that quality which we are, for which we have made up our minds. It is not up to the mark. It may be, the quality is very cheap quality. It is not a good quality. And sometimes we found that the price is too much. It is beyond our imagination. The seller has, overpriced the product, and sometimes we may, come to this knowledge that the thing which we have purchased is the measurement is not up to the mark. So we have purchased 1 kg something, but then we found out it is less than that. And suppose if we have purchased some food item, it is adulterated. So it is not to the satisfaction of the person who has purchased. So, deep inside, we have a feeling that we've been cheated. We have not received the product which we were looking for. It was overpriced. the quantity was less, and the product was not fit to be consumed or to be used. So these incidents are likely to happen. So the need of the hour is that we as a consumer should be aware of a lot many things. We should have proper information about the product which we are going to purchase, the good or the services which we are going to utilize. We are going to a hotel, or we are going to a restaurant, or we are traveling somewhere. So whatever product we are using or the services which we are going to avail, so it is a right and it is a duty that we should be informed properly and we should be totally aware of. So it is very, very important. Why it is important? Because then we'll be able to make a right decision. We'll be able to make a right choice at the right time. Because if we are not doing this, there is a chance that we will be, as a consumer, we will be deceived at any time. And why there is a need of consumer awareness? The need is required so that we should be all the time attentive about the quality of the product, and we should be able to know that what can be the possible deficiencies in the product which we are going to purchase or we are going to use, or the services which we are going to avail. So it is just that the trader should not be in a position to act wrongfully with us. So we have to protect, as a consumer, we have to protect ourselves. So the consumer should all be time in such a state that the product he's using should be reliable. He should have exhaustive information about the product, because if we have not the information, that we will not be in a position to purchase the good thing, the right thing, or to avail the proper services which we were looking forward for. Now, what is the concept and importance of consumer education? Why it is required? Why it is important? So basically, consumer education means the right to acquire knowledge and skill to be an informed consumer throughout life. Which means we as a consumer should have the knowledge, or we should acquire it, so that throughout life we should not be cheated or deceived by anyone whose services which we are going to utilize, or the product which we are going to purchase from any kind of buyer. So the main aim of consumer education is to protect ourselves against exploitation. We should not be exploited at any stage of life. And how it can be achieved? It can be achieved if we as a consumer are all the time alert, and we are also aware of the rights and responsibilities. So it is our duty to be an informed consumer, to be an aware consumer. It is our responsibility also. And why this necessity is there for consumer education, as I've already discussed with you through the medium of the previous slides, but still, so it is required that we should be educated, and we should all the time feel motivated that we are vigilant against any kind of wrongful act on the part of the seller. Because if we are vigilant, then we can protect ourselves. And it will also enable us to develop the ability to decide and choose the products which we are going to buy very intelligently. Because if I have the proper knowledge as a consumer, I have proper information, then I'll be able to buy the proper thing at any time. So then we will also be in a position that the product which you're going to purchase is reliable, is of good quality, and the price is also reasonable. So it is not overpriced, and nobody will be able to adopt corrupt practices against us when we are going to the market, because we will all the time be alert if we are properly educated, and we'll also be able to take a suitable action against that person. Because if I'm educated, I'm informed, then anytime I can take proper action, because I have that knowledge inside me. There are various agencies which are providing consumer education nowadays. A lot many organizations, they have come forward and they are booking the sellers who are trying to deceive the consumers. But the pity is this, that most of these organizations, they come into the picture when the consumer is already affected. So how we can protect ourselves to be affected by these things if we are properly educated? And most of these organizations, the another thing is that they're concentrated in urban centers and they do not include the rural sector in their purview. So we should be properly aware. Consumer education should reach to each and every door, be it the urban area, be it the rural area. So we should be informed all the time and we should be educated. There are a lot many extension agencies who are working for this cause, and these extension agencies are in the form of different departments. For example, health department is there, food department is there, agriculture department is there, social welfare departments are there, and they have come forward to educate the consumer from time to time on various aspects of a lot many things. And which mediums these organizations and agencies are using? They are, demonstrating people through the way of pamphlets, through the medium of film advertisements. So they are carrying out their cause so that they should reach out to the consumers. They should educate them with the help of demonstrations, with the help of pamphlets, with the help of film shows. So, and they are trying to reach to far-flung areas to educate the people and to inform the people. Apart from that, mass media is again playing a great role in educating the consumers. So through the medium of newspapers, magazines, handbills, pamphlets, they are trying to disseminate as much information as they can. Because when, as a consumer, we need the newspapers, we come to know which product is available where the price is going to be charged in a proper manner, where the good quality things we can purchase, so which is the right place where we can go, and how we can dress ourselves if suppose we are anytime deceived by the seller. So the mass media is playing a great role, and we come to know through the mediums of mass media which thing is available, where, at what price. So it is playing a great role. Then see, suppose if at any step we are deceived, how we have to address this issue and how we have to redress. There are a lot many redressal agencies in the form of which are available at both at district level, state level, and national level. So district consumer forums are there, state and consumer dispute redressal commissions are there, national consumer dispute redressal commission are there, as Dr. Rajendra Prasad has already thrown light on this, but through the medium of PPT it becomes all the more easier for the students to get to know. Then there are consumer protection councils also available. They are established at the central level, state level, and the district level. And the purpose is same, to spread consumer awareness. And the objective is to promote and protect the rights of the consumer. So the consumer protection councils at their place are playing a great role to make the people aware about all their rights and other things. Then Consumer Welfare Fund is also there, and it is operated under the Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution. Now, what is the objective of this Consumer Welfare Fund? It is basically to provide financial assistance and to promote and protect the welfare of the consumers. They are in the way strengthening the voluntary consumer movements in the country so that they can come forward and they can go to the far-flung areas, even the rural areas, to make the people literate about consumer rights so that they can themselves come forward and they can address their issues. What type of activities are conducted by these consumer welfare funds? They have opened up consumer clubs. They are promoting involvement of research institutions, universities, colleges in consumer protection and welfare, and Even there is a national consumer helpline. So the way we are conducting a webinar today to just educate our students about the consumer rights. So these consumer welfare funds are also basically coming forward to arrange more programs of such kind and to publish more knowledge should reach to the people at large through research and through other welfare programs. Then their consumer voluntary agencies are also there who are coming forward and playing a major role in educating the consumers. What are their rights? What as the consumers, what are the responsibilities and how they can, basically they are advising the consumers about their rights and many more things. Then if we go to the legal aspect, we have, written legal provisions in the form of Consumer Protection Act. Earlier, the Act of 1986 was there, but now the amended Act of 2019 is there. So this is, we can say, one of the important milestones in the consumer movement in the country. So these two acts, they contain elaborative provisions to help the consumers so that they should come forward, they should come and know about their rights, where they have to go, what they have to follow. So under you should go through these acts and you will come to know about the detailed provisions, how the government has come forward to help out the consumers through these legal provisions. Under Section 2 of the Act of 2019, now consumer is basically a person who avails the services and buys any good for self-use. So there is a change in the definition. So it is worthy to mention here that if a person buys any goods or avails any service for resale or commercial purpose, he or she is not considered a consumer. So this definition covers all type of transactions, not just offline, even online, because we are now living in the world of technology, right? So it is covering both offline and online teleshopping, direct selling, or multi-level marketing. So the salient features of this act, it is now covering the e-commerce transaction. I've just mentioned this thing, offline or online. The service provider or the manufacturer has to compensate a consumer in case of any injury or loss due to defective goods or poor services. So it is now he will be liable to compensate the consumers if any defective good is provided or the service is poor in nature. Then there is Central Consumer Protection Authority is also there. And it is basically a regulatory authority. So the main duty of this authority is to protect, promote, and enforce the rights of the consumers and regulate the cases related to unfair trade practices, misleading advertisements, and violation of consumer rights. Because there can be many misleading advertisements where they are attracting the consumers. They are just writing their key, like we'll be giving free prizes, or we'll be giving additional things if you will buy this. At many places you might have come across that there is a sale, and if you will buy products worth 2,000, you will get free products worth 5,000. So sometimes misleading advertisements are there, and we got attracted to them, and it is our tendency that whenever we read such things, we go to that place. But when we reach there, we find out that it is not the way it was there in the advertisement. So wherever there is any violation of consumer rights, these Central Consumer Protection Authorities coming forward and helping out the consumers. Then redressal commissions are there. So how we can address ourselves, how we can redress ourselves. So under the old Act of 1986, under the District Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission, if the value of goods or services paid as consideration does not exceed 20 lakh, then one can go to the District Consumer Commission. And if it is exceeding 20 lakhs, but it is not exceeding more than 1 crore, then we can go to the State Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission. And if the value of the good exceeds 1 crore, then we can go to the National Consumer. And in the Act of 2019, this this has been increased all the more. So you can go to the district court if the product is not exceeding 1 crore, and to the State Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission if it is exceeding 1 crore but does not exceed 10 crore, and to the National Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission if the value of the good exceeds rupees 10 crore. So I have just gone into a deep detail that what should be the price of the product, and in that way where you can go, right? Then there are many rights of the consumer. Right to safety is there. So being a consumer, we should always feel safe. So it is one of the basic right to protect ourselves. So whatever like the goods we are consuming or the services which we are using, they should not have any kind of adverse effect on us, on our health or on our safety. So I'll give you an example. Suppose household goods like LPG cylinder, if it is not sealed properly, it can cause immense damage to our life and property. And suppose if we have purchased a stale food item, it can cause harm to our health. So, and suppose if we have purchased low quality cosmetics, it can cause similar harms to us. So it is a right that we should be safe. Whatever we are going to purchase, we should be safe all the time. Then right to be informed, I have elaborated too much on this. So we should be informed about the quality, quantity, potency, standard, and price of the product. Only then we'll be able to make a right decision that what product we should buy, what should be the price of that product. If we are not informed properly, then we will not be able to make a right decision what we have to buy or what service we have to utilize. Then right to choose. It should be, like there should be a competitive market where we should be given enough of the right to, choose between, variety of products. If the choice is very limited, then also it's not good. So it should be there. It is a right and it should be available at a competitive price. Then right to be heard. Just now I have discussed with you. So redressal, and we should be able to address our problem. There should be proper redressal for the problem. So if as a buyer we are dissatisfied with the product or services, then we can go to the state consumer form, national consumer form, or district consumer form. Suppose if I have purchased an electronic item and it has started malfunctioning, so as a consumer, I have the right to take appropriate action by returning or replacing it, and should be compensated for that. So the same thing is here, right to seek redressal, I've just discussed with you. Then right to consumer education. So we should be properly educated, we should be properly informed all the time before we are going to purchase anything or we are going to hire any kind of services. Because if we are educated, we are ourselves be able to solve our many problems. Then there is Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission also, which entertains complaints. Suppose if there is overcharging or deceptive charging of the product, there is any kind of unfair or restrictive trade practices, deceptive trade practices are there, or a person is selling hazardous goods and providing bad services which are hazardous to our life, or defective goods are being sold. So as per the Consumer Redressal Commission rules, there will be no fee for filing cases up to 5 lakhs. So I'm going to conclude very soon. Then there is provision for alternative dispute resolution also. So apart from going to these consumer forms, the new act has provided for mediation as an alternate dispute resolution mechanism. For mediation, there are strict timeline fixed in the rules, so we can go through this medium also for redressing our complaints as a consumer. There are mediation cells, but then once it is settled here, there will be no appeal against settlement through mediation. Then this new thing has been added, that is unfair trade practices. So what the buyers are trying to do nowadays, or the manufacturers they're trying to do nowadays, they are adopting deceptive trade practices. So this has been included in the Act of 2019, and it has a very broad definition, which also includes the sharing of personal information given by the consumer in confidence, unless such disclosure is made in accordance with the provisions of any other law. So you can see, as the consumer, what is required. So in nutshell, I have just thrown light on the rights of the consumers, consumer awareness, consumers education, right? And how you can redress yourself, different agencies, voluntary organizations, consumer welfare funds and agencies, how they're coming forward and helping out the consumers. I think this is more than sufficient, as already much was, shared with you by Dr. Rajendra Prasad ji. So thank you so much. And I'm really thankful to the organization, the college, for providing with this opportunity to share my views with the audience. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for spending your precious time with us and briefly explaining about the law aspects and what are all the unfair practices which should not be carried out and what may be the effect that you have portrayed very well, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much to all of you for providing me this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Next, again, I'll request Professor Dr. S. Kamaraj sir, Assistant Professor of Department of Commerce CA, to introduce our guest of honor, Dr. Bhagwan R. Gawali, Assistant Professor, Tribhulam Sir Charavo Chavan Law College, Pune. Now I request Dr. Professor Kamaraj sir to introduce the guest to the gathering. Please, sir.
Dr. Bhagwan R. Gawali, Assistant Professor and Head, Postgraduate Department of Law, MMMS Shankara Rao Chavan Law College, Pune, accredited with A grade by NAC. Sir done is LLM, Law Criminal from Symposium International University, Pune, and did PhD from Rajiv Gandhi School of Intellectual Property Law, IIT, Gorakhpur, West Bengal. Sir's research topic, Law and Process of Investigation by Central Bureau of Investigation in Administration of Criminal Justice, a critical analysis. And a recipient of Institute Scholarship by IIT Gorakhpur, HRD Ministry, Government of India for doctoral study, and presented research papers in various national and international conferences and seminars, and also published research papers in national, international law journals. Drafted moot problem for Justice PB 7th National Moot Court Competition on Constitutional Law for 7 consecutive years, that is organized by MMMS Shankara Rao Chavan Law College, Pune, from academic year 2013 to 2014. Sir invited to judge at various prestigious national moot competitions by law colleges, and also invited as a resource person in national conferences and reference courses. Now the session hand over to Sir to address the gathering. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Professor Rajendra Prasad, former Vice Chancellor, Nagarjuna University, Andhra Pradesh. Principal Senthil Raj, Dr. Murthy, Professor Krishna Mohan, Dr. Jasprit Kaur ma'am, and other dignitaries. Good afternoon to one and all. The organizers has asked me to speak on a topic, disseminating consumer education in rural area. So while listening to eminent speaker, I have observed that many aspect has been covered. So what I'll do, I'll be short, and those points which are already covered by eminent speaker, I will just refer that point and we'll go ahead. Now, while speaking, I have divided my small presentation into four subparts. First one is what is consumer education. Second one is what are the problems faced by particularly rural consumers. Third one is what are the rights of consumer, which has been recognized by Ministry of Consumer Affairs, and some suggestion for effective consumer education in India, particularly in rural India. I was going through a report of Union Finance and Corporate Ministry. They have submitted that report to Parliament, and it has been provided that 65% of our population, Indian population, lives in rural area. So I think it is one of the most important aspect to provide checks and to provide education to rural consumers. What is consumer education? Ma'am Kaur and even Professor Prasad has covered this aspect. I mean, the consumer education is to make them conscious about their rights and their wants. It should be an assurance for right quality and right quantity with right price. There must be remedies available if the goods and services are defective. At the same time, considering the material world, we need to ensure that there must be sustainable use of natural resources, and we should avoid unnecessary consumption. So consumer education includes all these aspects. Now, the interesting part is, what are the problems faced by rural consumers? First one is price variation. So if you compare wholesale market with retail market, definitely you will come towards the conclusion that there is price variation, and it is one of the area where rural consumers get exploited. Even they are not well versed with the concept of what is MRP. Second problem is adulteration and poor quality. So there are many reasons behind adulteration and poor quality, but use of poor quality raw material or inappropriate storage can be result in adulteration and poor quality. Non-availability may be because of a particular product is asked by the consumer since it is off season, or there is possibility that traders or trader guilds has artificially created that non-availability or hoarding of black marketing. Another interesting problem which faced by rural consumers are defective weights and measures. I have observed, and there are many examples that the shopkeepers use irregular weightage like bricks and stones, and it is the way to exploit the rural consumers. There are deceptive trade practices as well. I'm sure you have observed many brands, for example, Adidas, Nike, Puma, or I'm sure those who are from rural area, they have experienced that the pharmaceutical companies are exploit the capacity of farmers, and basically they are involved in deceptive trade practices. It is also observed that the products provided by many traders are not up to the mark. We are aware that we observe ISI, or the product must be standardized by Bureau of Indian Standard. So there is problem of all these things. It is also observed that rural people are new and lack of bargaining capacity. Basically, these people are, in majority of cases, are illiterate. They are because of all these things, they're lacking in bargaining capacity. It is also observed in case of medical services or in banking services or in insurance also, that the agents or the officers don't want to give appropriate information to the rural consumers. I have observed all these aspects in when banks gives crop loan to the farmers, or when the cooperative banks gives loans to the farmers. They don't want to give correct information, and this is the way by which they exploit the rural consumers. It is also observed that the rural market is generally held weekly on Sunday or Saturday. So there is lack of permanent shop. So if there is lack of permanent shop, then there is no assurance of quality. At the same time, it is also observed that there is a lack of variety. So it actually encroach. It is actually an encroachment on the right of consumer to go for various choices, since there is no adequate number of varieties. This aspect has been covered by Professor Kaur and even Professor Prasad. So I'll just go through these subtitles. Ministry of Consumer Affairs has recognized six rights of consumers: right to choose, right to hear, right to seek redressal, as Ma'am Kaur has correctly pointed out, that there are various forums where if there is any defective service or defective product has been given by the shopkeeper, then you can approach to various forums available under Consumer Act. Right to safety is also one of the important right. Right to get information about the quality, quantity, purity, standard, and price of goods is also considered as one of the most important right of the consumer, or consumer includes rural consumer as well. There are some suggestions for effective consumer education. We have to ensure, or the ministry with various NGOs can work on this area, that there must be many consumer forums at village level or at panchayat level. We can establish consumer munch or consumer cooperative societies to combat against the business guilds, because it is observed that if you are comparing business guilds with consumers, business guilds are more more competent. They have more systematic way to exploit the consumer, because consumer are not organized. We can also have more effective consumer education by organizing seminars, by organizing various workshops to target the rural consumers. We can also develop purchase skill to have fair access of market and to ensure socio-economic justice by organizing various awareness camp. Here, government department with various NGOs who are working in this area can go for organization of various training programs, various awareness program as well. With this, I take this opportunity to thank the principal of the college, his staff, and I'm also thankful to Professor P.V.V.S. Murthy, Secretary General of Consumer Advocacy Group, for giving me an opportunity to share my views. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for briefly explaining about the consumer rights and the suggestions for the consumers. Thank you very much for spending your valuable time with us amidst your busy schedule. Thank you, sir. Now we have come to the end of the session. This is formal vote of thanks. First and foremost, I thank our management, trustees, Managing Trustee K.M.G. Balasubramanian sir, Thiru K.M.G. Sundaravadanam sir, Chairman, Thiru K.M.G. Rajendran sir, Secretary, and Thiru K.M.G. Muthukumar sir, Treasurer, for permitting us to conduct the webinar in our institution. Thank you, sirs. Next, I thank Professor Dr. P.V.V.S. Murthy, Secretary General, Consumer Advocacy Group, for helping us to conduct this webinar or arranging the resource persons. Thank you, sir. Next, I thank our beloved principal for giving felicitation to the gathering and his encouragement. Thank you, Principal Sir. I thank our resource persons, Professor Dr. Rajendra Prasad, former Vice Chancellor, Nagarjuna University, Andhra Pradesh, Professor Dr. Jasprit Gaur Majithia ma'am, Associate Professor and Dean, Amitya Law School, Punjab, Professor Dr. Bhagwan R. Gawali, Assistant Professor, Shankarrao Chavan Law College, Pune, for spending time with us, for enlightening our students' knowledge about the consumer rights. Really, you have educated our children, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sirs. Next, I thank my colleague, Dr. K. Komati madam, Dr. S. Kamraj sir, for introducing the guests and helping me in all aspects. I extend my heartfelt thanks to Professor Vasan, Assistant Professor, National College, who technically helped me to create Google Form, feedback forms, certificates, everything. My heartfelt thanks to the technical team, especially the head of the Department of Computer Application, Purnima madam, Harinath sir, for all the technical arrangements. I thank all the colleges who have joined. Nearly more than 1,000 registration we got, and the YouTube live also streamed now. So I extend my heartfelt thanks to all the professors of various colleges and for the students to whom we have arranged this program. Finally, I thank all the participants. I may have left some people. Finally, I thank all the participants for joining this national webinar. Thank you all. I'll post the feedback link in the YouTube as well as in the Zoom. Please fill the feedback, since Google Form is supplying 70 certificates per day. Nearly 1,000 participants are there, so it will take a month to get the certificate, but definitely you will all this one-day national webinar certificates. So we will post feedback link in the chat box, both the Zoom as well as in the YouTube. Please fill up it carefully, submit the mail ID properly, then the e-certificate will come to your mail. Thank you all. Thank you, madam. Thank you, sir. And my heartfelt thanks to Krishna Mohan, sir. So I'll stop screen share and post the feedback.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Sir, could you please